share my job with you. And my job is also my passion. Unfortunately, my English is not so precise, I'm sorry. Therefore, I prefer reading a paper. I hope it will be comprehensive. First of all, I would like to introduce myself and my work. My name is Giovanna Nardini. I come from Italy. I'm here as delegate for Studio Archetica. Archetica was founded by me and the architect Michele Ricci. Michele couldn't join us today, but he brings his best wishes for a great meeting and workshop. Archetica is specialized in sustainable architecture, and in particular, it deals with straw-bale buildings design. In this kind of architecture, Archetica is its mission: environmental, social, and economical sustainability. And with straw-bale buildings, that could be this can be very simple, clear, and in a realistic way. So in a synthesis, that is very fascinating, as fast only the nature can do. This idea is built on assuming responsibility. Our mission would face a contemporary problem about the 40% of CO2 emitted in the atmosphere, which are derived from construction industry. For example, synthetic and pollutant materials, which are difficult to dispose, generate two full-side collateral effects. Directly, as a alien building will generate a polluted living space, which will raise human illness. Indirectly, these materials and industrial processes will produce environmental pollution, which is the reason of the human illness as well. Therefore, we decided to tackle this use by adopting natural materials which are healthy and efficient. In our opinion, this means more consciousness of human well-being and preservation of natural habitat. We pretend this lifestyle from ourselves as designers, and we suggest it to everybody, to the customer, as well as to the builder or artisan. Everyone has the responsibility to spread this message. First of all, we opened our website on a affirmative platform, www.casimpaglia.it, in Italian. There is many materials in English, but not in Italian. Our web project focuses on the divulgation of straw-bale technique as a solution of sustainable construction. And our studio, indeed, try constantly make grow up this sector. The part of the planning and developing, but also the most difficult part of the construction process and skills. To transform this innovative project in a conventional technique. At this point, in this International Congress occasion, I would like to introduce briefly the state of art concerning straw-bale architecture in Italy. And the present day, the traditional construction industry, that is basically concrete and bricks buildings, is almost remain paused in Italy, mainly due to the global economic crisis started back in 2008. For new construction, what is still quite well working now are sustainable buildings like prefabricated wood houses or straw-bale constructions, even if it's just in very small but stable niche markets. Restoring and energy efficient works on some existing buildings are now the inventions that lead the building economy. This is not surprising since in Italy there is, in general, a tendency not to demolish anything until it's down by itself. Yeah. So sometimes to restore is not an economical and environmental sustainable way. It is interesting to mention that though little has been done by the government to increase a widespread awareness about sustainability themes, so people are increasingly interested in themes like carbon emission and organic construction, but most in an individual way, so alternative information. The approach to sustainability, so as it conceived by us, still remain a rare sensibility, which needs an important action of education and training, but fortunately is in constant and fast development, and it is connected with survey constructions. In the last 3 years, we have accomplished the realization of more than 100 buildings spread in the whole nation territory, and many other are under constructions. And I would like to remind you that the first Bale building in Italy was built in the 2003. After this more overview about the Italian building situation, let's move and talk about the actual topic of this presentation: contemporary Bale townhouse in Fano. These townhouses host one family each house and share one common wall. Their rooms are distributed on 2-story and basement with a garage. So far, this represents one of the first townhouse buildings built in Europe. Usually the picture of a Bale house is a single detached villa with a pitched roof in the middle of romantic landscape. What we showed is that this kind of construction you can do also for a very urban typology with a strong contemporary design. The technique is also an evolution step of the traditional technique, the name is grip, because of the anti-seismic bearing structure and the prefabricated mode of installation. The initiativors, investors and landlords of these buildings are not a construction company but private investors that formed an informal group and started the planning together with our studio, searching for a shared design that could fit all their needs. The whole building's works were given to a building company with unfortunately no confidence with this new building technique, but accepting the challenge of learning something new and unusual. We then had also the task to train the workers and the company and explain step by step all the different uses. The landlords were always involved during the construction process and could also do a week of self-building experience. Our building is located in central Italy, very close to the Adriatic Sea coast, in the suburbs of the city of Fano. The plot has a very challenging shape, and due also to some very upsetting surveyors' mistakes. Right? We developed a kind on unconventional outline for this row house typology. Here we have the shipyard. As you can see, the orientation is the north-south axis. This is the building area possibility. on the southeast, a beautiful view, and solar energy. Private sphere and independence are both central themes in the request of the landlords. Analyzing the factors that influence the bioclimatic performance of the house, we designed a L-shape close on the north, which in Europe is the cold side, and the road, and as open as possible on the south and eastern sides. As you can see, we put on the ground floor kitchen, living room and restroom. We designed the space to allow the maximum light and the view through the floor. Due to planning natural air change, ventilation, due to planning regulation, we had to provide 2 parking spots for each new unit we built, and we decided to use an underground basement to fulfill this request, maximizing the use of the available plot. At the first floor, we have 3 sleeping rooms and the restroom. Every room is provided with a balcony. The stairwells, every unit is provided with a roof terrace, where also the solar water panels and photovoltaic panels provides, and for extra shadows in summer. The stairwell is placed in the center of the floors, and since it is open and every story allows sunlight to come down from the roof windows and provides for a natural vertical airflow in summer, and solar energy upward in winter. And if the balconies on the first floor are dimensioned to allow sunlight to hit the floors in winter and to reduce the amount of light in summer. These 3 houses are a very energetically efficient building, between 10 and 23 kilowatt-hour each square meter year. On the economic aspect, we could realize a good deal, providing a standard building price and standard building as not good quality, not efficient energy, and not natural material, and very little eating cost, like 150 euros, so 100 New Zealand dollar. Here you have a few renderings of the described thermal and that was it before. Yeah. Here. Few renders of the described thermal and photovoltaic panels on the rooftop terrace. On the facade, you can notice the use of natural large frames, so water screen, to articulate the volumes and to protect the wall directly as opposed to weathering. On the west and south side, the large facade acts as to protect from the street noise and walkers by. The structural wood frame followed the French-Canadian typology of the grip, meaning small vertical load-bearing wooden elements, each 700 millimeters. Since Italy has a very seismic territory, we had to adapt this structure, so the traditional grip, into what we call Italian grab. This is the second example in Italy. The first was self-built. All the vertical frames has to have a square section of 60 millimeters instead of 4 millimeters, and all the connection between foundation and upper floors bracing had to be retooled. Here you can see how. There are some bigger wood elements at the end to make facile the transport of the prefabricated part. The floor framework is also made load-bearing wood beam that will transmit their loads to the vertical frames to a wood cab. Here is to notice the correspondence of the vertical frames into the in the two levels. The space within the beam is optimized to put the bales. And here you can see some details and images of the prefabrication. Because, like for self-builders, you have to design each part. Yeah, the transport was 10 kilometers. This is the basement. The important for the seismic are the connection system from the wall to the foundation. And then we have to design in according with the engineering and architects and builders, and it was not easy process. Yeah, we have to put this bracing, and the bureaucracy and the code is very, very hard in Italy. But important of this technique is that you have the straw bales in continuous. There is no interruption. You can set mechanic the bales. Here is the roof, the stairs, and we did, I don't know if it's the right word, cantilevered steps, so that the light can come through much more. In a load-bearing panel, wood panel, details, and that is. And also the pergola connect, because we have a flat roof, and then what's the connection of the pergola in the main structure was a difficult detail instead of waterproof and structure. This is the building site. Winter was not the right moment to begin, but we did so that in July, that is normally the driest month in the year in Italy. So in that month we wanted to build the part of the straw, but it was so bad July, it was raining all the time. And all the time in this building site was false, but yeah, at the end we did it. Yeah. With prefabricated, we had good quality, and in 2 days we had the structure. It's the first floor, and you see it's continuous in this direction and in this direction, and it's perfect for the thermal bridge and for the insulation. Yeah. For the builders. Yeah, we had to cover. This is weight store, and yeah, we have everywhere in it. So bad. Yeah, the image can speak and better than me.
15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. This is mortar crepe as lime, sand, water, and 9. So in 9 parts, 1 is cement to get dry in 1 day, and this segatur. So that's yeah. This is the first step. It's not the best, perhaps, technique, natural technique, but is simple for the traditional construction company. It's the first step, and for us it was important to show that we can do it. So a first example for also for the mentality of the person that lives in our region. And we let sometimes this hole for the thermic heating panel add with a plastic tube. The walls are in hemp bricks. Yeah. Because also the same for the construction companies, they usually use bricks and then use bricks. Yeah. And they are fantastic for thermal and acoustic. You don't have to put layers over the bricks. So chemical layers. These are prefabricated, but we will do these heating panels with hot water. It's a German company that produced them, but now they are also in Italy, and you can do also, it's much better, so simple with tubes, and then add plaster. And here this massa, thermic massa, it's perfect. Over the beam and the wood element, and over the wood panel. Great. The first layer was lime, which was it was better. Also for the spray machine. But then inside was a hard plaster and outside lime plaster. Yeah, this is yeah, this is how they buildings is at the end. June 2015. But we began with the design and paper in 2012. Yeah, it takes so long to. Here you can see the large frames. We put them only in the north and northeast. These are, they move, these things, and because the customer wanted to be, so ground floor, they want the security, then they asked me for steel, and I said, okay, we can find an alternative solution. And then we put this wood that do also the regulation of the sun, because this is the west facade, and then in summer it's very hot, and during the first month they lived there, they didn't have, and then they said, oh, these double houses, it's not so isolated. Okay, now when you have a wall and come inside the sun. And then after that was perfectly. Then that's to say that sometimes are very small details that that can destroy all the project. Yeah. And I do that with a builder. And here we don't have yet the large wood in the balcony, but we will do. They have no money anymore. We have to close with this wood the balcony for the sun and for the privacy. Open window. Here we have some details from inside. They are very contemporary also inside, and I like it to show, okay, this project could be also in a magazine of the mood building, 3D